On May 12th, the future of 2 million students was cancelled. They had already taken the exam. The reason wasn't a natural disaster. It was allegedly sold from the inside.
On May 12, 2026, over 2.2 million students received a message that wiped out years of effort. The NEET UG medical entrance exam was officially cancelled. To understand the weight of that update, you have to look at the scale of India's testing infrastructure. The entire system operates on a single premise, a meritocracy where rank is the only currency. For middle-class families, these examinations represent the primary engine for socioeconomic mobility. A high rank is often the only path to a stable professional future. Families invest entire life savings into coaching hubs, while students sacrifice their teenage years to grueling 16-hour study blocks. The sudden 2026 cancellation left millions of these aspirants in a state of psychological and financial collapse. The 2026 breakdown was the endpoint of a system that had been fracturing for years. The warning signs emerged 2 years earlier. When the 2024 NEET results were announced, the data showed 67 students achieving perfect scores and others receiving marks that were mathematically impossible under the exam's scoring rules. Evidence of a physical breach followed the statistical anomalies. Police in Patna arrested brokers charging up to 50 lakh rupees for advanced copies of the paper, while a raid in Godhra uncovered a teacher instructing students to leave answer sheets blank to be filled in later. Student organizations took to the streets across India. May argued that these localized arrests were proof of a systemic failure and demanded a total reevaluation of the testing process. The Supreme Court eventually reviewed the petitions, while the court acknowledged that 155 students had benefited from the test. By treating the 2024 breach as an isolated incident, the institutions left the system's core vulnerabilities unaddressed, paving the way for a total collapse 2 years later. By May 2026, the leak was no longer a theory. A guess paper that perfectly matched the actual test was circulating through coaching networks in CCAR weeks before the exam. This wasn't a general study guide. Investigators found a 140-question overlap between the leaked materials and the real exam, a statistical impossibility for any legitimate prediction. The leak originated with a Pune-based headmistress who abused her role as a subject expert to extract the physics paper. She passed the data to a syndicate known as the Private Mafia, a network of over 400 members dedicated to distributing leaked content. The network used high-definition portable scanners to digitize the booklets, bypassing detection protocols. These files were routed through shadow servers to conceal the data trail from federal investigators. The financial scale was immense. These scanned papers were sold for up to 15 lakh rupees in the final hours before the examination, moving rapidly through Nashik, Haryana, and Rajasthan. The very insiders hired to protect these physical safeguards were the ones who dismantled them. While NEET faced a physical breach, the CBSE Class 12 exams were suffering a simultaneous digital failure. The board had just introduced On-Screen Marking, a digital system designed to scan physical answer sheets and allow examiners to grade them remotely. It was marketed as a foolproof modernization of the evaluation process. Internal documents show the board was warned of catastrophic failures. A dry run report from January 2026 flagged 36 critical concerns, including system crashes and the risk of blind checking, and recommended delaying the launch. The board ignored the warnings and implemented the system anyway. During the live grading, evaluators faced blurred scans, missing pages, and software glitches that prevented them from accurately reviewing student work. The controversy extended to the procurement process. The vendor, Coempt, secured the contract only after the board's original requirement for robotic scanners was quietly replaced with ordinary scanning equipment. Replacing physical systems with untested digital ones created efficient new vectors for failure. Government officials continued to issue public assurances that the examination protocols were secure and the integrity of the board remained intact. Those official narratives were dismantled not by auditors, but by teenagers. Sarthak Siddhant, a 17-year-old student, uncovered the tender manipulations and presented his findings directly to a parliamentary panel. Simultaneously, 19-year-old Misarda Adhikari demonstrated severe security flaws in the CBSE website. proving that sensitive student data was vulnerable to any unauthorized user. The database of a national examination board was entirely penetrable. A teenager could bypass the security safeguards from a home computer. Public trust fractured when students had to step in to perform the basic oversight functions of national cybersecurity and educational agencies. For the class of 2026, the result was a total system collapse. Aspirants were left navigating the fallout of multiple simultaneous failures in the exams they had spent years preparing for. The glitches had real-world consequences. Incorrectly lowered board scores disqualified thousands of students from meeting the 75% eligibility requirement needed for engineering admissions. The government eventually ordered a federal reckoning. CBI investigations led to the arrest of the Mafia syndicates and the removal of the top educational officials responsible for the procurement and oversight failures. To prevent future leaks, the ministry announced that all medical entrance exams would move to a fully digital, computer-based test format by 2027. This solution asks students to trust a new digital testing framework immediately after the National Board's digital grading platform failed them. Updating the test formats and modernizing the technology will not fix a broken meritocracy if the institutions running it refuse to enforce accountability.
Paper leaks can be fixed. Software bugs can be patched. Officials can be replaced. But trust is different.